This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a UAP slash space news update. The Three Eye Atlas is still as mysterious as ever. This is the interstellar object that's going to be the closest to the sun on October 29th, coming up very soon. There's a lot of information out there, some false, some real. I'll give you guys the Coles Notes version of the most credible information. Now, it's definitely not a cylinder. The picture that came out a few weeks ago, as Avi Loeb said, was a stacked image. The images that were taken 2 weeks ago by the Mars rovers and stuff, the Mars orbiters, that NASA and other countries have, they have not been released. That is very mysterious. NASA is blaming the government shutdown, but there's other countries out there too, like China reveals more information usually. Apparently, something did come out from a European Union photograph, different type of image that shows that it's most likely flatter than it was initially looked at. There has been something come out from the Kelk Observatory in Hawaii, but that picture was taken over a month ago. So nothing official has been released by NASA. However, they are very likely reviewing it at NASA, even though they're not releasing it, because this is a pretty big deal. This massive object the size of Manhattan coming towards us that behaves differently than a comet. The tail is not pointing towards the sun, and at different times it appears there is no tail. There is little to no iron admission, just pretty much nickel coming out of the thing. It's 12 to 14 kilometers in diameter. The dust being released from it is supposedly at lower than normal speeds. It's not showing much to show that it's an actual comet, but there's many people in the scientific community still making assumptions that it is a comet rather than think that it's some type of new object coming, whether technological or not. But the fact of the matter is, from incredibly intelligent individuals, they are saying that if you're going to call it a comet, it's showing very different um, behaviors than a comet normally does. It spews out cyanide and nickel, very little iron. It looked like an asteroid when it first entered the solar system. There's a lot of things about it that looks like it could be a modified asteroid or something designed to potentially look like a comet, but actually be technological. It could be hollow. Avi Loeb himself is saying it could be hollow. The thing itself could be a living organism. Right now, it's traveling at 60 kilometers per second. It could have been faster or slower before it entered our solar system. People are making conclusions that it's always been going that fast. There's more for it to crash into, more space junk, more asteroids in our solar system. Why it could be going only 60 kilometers per second now. It could have been going faster in deep space. So you can't say 100% how old it is based on how fast it's going now. It could be dispatching probes to examine life. We are seeing things around it. The Juno probe flyby will probably be the best way of us to get a look at it. But at the same time, I mean, we were supposed to have a good picture of it by the Mars cameras that supposedly are so good they would be able to take a picture of a license plate if there was a license plate on Mars. But somehow we don't have these pictures yet due to this convenient um, government shutdown. So China, Russia, and Europe are all keeping quiet about this, which is strange because they don't have government shutdowns. Other than the European Space Agency, which is saying that the object is more flat than originally thought, no one is saying anything. Some people are saying it's looking like it's changed shapes and could have had lights on it. There's been different emissions on it. It appears that it might have a glow from within it rather than the glow on it being from a reflection of sunlight. There seems to be some type of energy output coming from it. It's turning green at times. Some people are saying that it looks like there's objects flowing around it. It will be the closest to the sun October the 29th. When it is within the sun's orbit, it could use the sun's gravity to slow down or possibly change trajectory. Sorry. Um, so there's a lot to think about with this thing. Then there's a lot of strange stuff going on. It's not something to just dismiss, I don't think. And for the people hoping that it's aliens, and again, the other thing I'll mention is Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp's partner from the Weaponized podcast, the filmmaker. He did say back in May on a Tubi documentary that there was going to be some type of false flag operation where governments were going to be saying there's a huge alien object coming towards us. I will say that, but at the same time, this is not making major news yet at this point. I'm shocked that more people aren't jumping on this because there's extremely credible scientists saying that they don't believe it's a comet, not just Avi Loeb. And I'm going to probably pronounce his name wrong, but that Michio Kaku guy, the angry astronaut guy, there's a lot of people out there, very smart. Some people that are so smart, they spend tens of $1,000s on their own telescopes, and they're saying it's not behaving like a comet. So there's some unusual stuff about this. And let's hope if it is some sort of alien probe that all they're doing at this point is probing us. Because as Avi Loeb said, how would this affect the Earth if suddenly, okay, this thing turns around at the sun and starts coming towards us? What are people just going to start dumping all their investments because they're not going to know what's coming towards us? And will panic ensue? So I do hope if it is a technological object that it either just flies by or if it comes this way and probes drop off, that all it is probes similar to what we're dropping off at other planets, which I don't see why people find it so hard to believe that it could be another civilization checking us out, checking out if there's life in this environment. Maybe they already know that there is. I don't know. The other unusual thing is there's lots of signs that we've already been visited for a long time. So could it be something totally new visiting us? Could this be people calling for backup? Who knows? But it's very interesting. Let me know what you think it is in the comments. Thanks for watching.